All right, making some mods for the snowplow ATV. Try to make my life easier. Picked up a few extra jobs this year that are definitely going to take me some time to do. So added the clamps here on the front for a snow shovel. That way I can have something with me. Going to be adding this box. Found this on clearance for 150 bucks. Add that to the back. In here for the mounting instructions, they want it added like in the middle of the bottom of the box. I don't really want clamps, the U-bolt tops sticking out like that in the middle of the box. The box is already pretty small, so I really don't want to be adding those in the middle, right? So one would be here, one would be here. I don't want them in the middle poking out. So I'm going to try to get them in the corners. I got a sidebar. I'm going to try to get those as tight as I can to the side walls. Just clamp this back down. So I got this bar right here. So I'm going to try to get it as close as I can here. I've already got it marked out. So I already got them marked out. So drill some holes through there. Clamp this on this way. And then another big thing I'm doing is adding LED amber lights. I've already got them synced up to the flash I want. Just a simple flash, because again, you're going to be seeing the front flash. So I didn't want anything crazy, so it's a simple flash. And I also don't want these lights, like I don't want to drill holes through the fenders or anything. So I'm waiting on a wiring harness with a switch before I do anything. So the plan right now is to put two of the lights right here up front and probably just zip tie them. I think that'll be strong enough to just to hold those the small little lights. And then put the switch somewhere up here. And then I'm kind of hoping, again, I don't want to be drilling into the fenders. So I'm kind of thinking a light here and a light here, because I don't mind drilling into this. I mean, again, 150 bucks. All right, so I just drilled those holes out for the U-bolts to hold the box on the back bars. And I've checked it with I drew circles inside of these bars. I took one out, put it down, figured out where it would sit on the inside roughly. That way I'm getting the tops of the U-bolts. See, they got to come through pretty good because they have little black top clips in there for the U-bolt, but I'd rather see them in the sides as far as possible rather than in the center. Plus, the other thing is that this plastic is actually going to be sitting on the bar. Like the bar is going to be touching this. If it was in here, when you go to clamp that down, the plastic is going to want to pull because of the in-groove here. So I think for two reasons this is better. One, the plastic of the box is actually going to be sitting on the bar. And two, they're going to be out of the way. I mean, as best as possible, right? For how small the box is, but I think this is the best option and solution. So once I get all the lights figured out, I can clamp that back or clamp it onto the actual rack. Okay, so got the wiring harness in today. This is for the amber lights that I want to put on. take these off. That way I can run the wires, just double check before I drill any more holes, make sure everything works. And then at the same time, I just bought heated grips. So we'll get these ones off and I'll run the two wires at the same time from the front to the back and connect everything to the battery at the same time rather than having to do that multiple times. So yeah, we're gonna do lights, heated grips, and get the box set up on the back. Should be rocking. Okay, so before I even bother taking any of this stuff off, when I ran the harness, I realized that the links weren't longer, like weren't as long as I thought they would be. So I've got to add a wire. So I've just roughly connected it all to make sure that the wire that I put in and add length to it is all going to work. So you can see when I hit the switch, but then the other thing I noticed is that this light bar, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You see how at the bottom it's still lit up. So that means like nothing's on right now. So that means it will just draw power from the battery non-stop, which means pretty much you have to disconnect this piece to the switch every time you get on and off the quad and you want to use the light bar. You got to plug this back in, or that's just going to draw the battery dead, and I can't have that. So I've got the front lights set up. They're just zip tied here and here. They're not going anywhere. Like, look at, I'm moving that whole thing. Like, they're not going anywhere. Amber lights drilled into the box. So what I did was I just started with the hole in the back for where the wire goes through. I drilled that big enough for it to fit through, pushed the light in, and then drilled one hole, then put the screw in, and then drilled the other hole, put the screw in. Okay, so I was not happy with just connecting the light harness with the switch to the battery, because the light on the switch, the toggle, was always on, and I don't ever want to have to worry about a dead battery. So what I did was I used the self-stripping tap connectors and went into the auxiliary plug. So here's the top. So this is tapped into that. So now I don't have the lights hooked up again. I had to disconnect everything. I just wasn't happy. I want this done properly. So the only thing I've got plugged in right now is I've got it hooked up. So as you can tell, no light is on, but it's connected. No light is on. So we'll just turn the key on. Now it lights up. So I just wanted to take the time and do this properly, do it once, and I didn't want any headaches. So again, the key is just turned on and the light is on. Turn the key off, light goes off. So that was the way better solution. So I just like to try to do everything properly. All right, I'll get these lights hooked up. All right, got everything almost back together. So the front two amber lights. The back I still got to attach the box and then connect the lights from inside, but the lights are on it. While I was doing all of the wiring for the lights, I added heated grips That way I only had to run the wires one time. Don't have to take anything off again. So 2-for-1 combo there. Yeah, so I only had to make this back little hole just a little bit bigger to get the wires through. And I ended up putting the switch just on the side here. So I did have to drill that in, but I don't think that's a big deal. So now again, no light is on. As soon as I apply that, now the light is on. Switch, now the lights are going. And the heated grips, it's only on when you turn it. So we'll turn it to high. Now the light is on, off. So everything works, and the light bar, I'm pleased with that for sure. So turn the ignition off, the light goes out. So that is so much better because I really didn't want to have to worry about disconnecting that one spot on the light bar every time. So that was such a better idea. This is why I laid it all out, all the wiring. Tried to figure everything out before making anything permanent. So I'm glad I switched it that way, because now I don't have to worry about anything comes on only when the ignition's on. So let me get this box on, connect the lights, and then we're done. Everything's all complete. So glad I took the time and figured everything out before making any final decisions, because it all worked out great, I believe. The box, I'm so happy I went on this sidebar and attached it that way. You know, I'm rocking the whole thing. It's not going anywhere. The lights turned out great. Turn the ignition on, toggle on this side, hit it. Really happy with the way everything turned out. All right, hope this helps somebody, and you know, again, just take the time, lay everything out, and it'll all work out in the best, I believe.